Welcome to episode 24 of Lost Signals. My name is Daryl.
I'm JD.
I had to remember what episode number we were on.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's been a couple of weeks, and the last episode that we released unto the world was a bit of a different one. So yeah,
It was pretty different. I mean, any of the reaction that I've talked to about people that have listened to it, they enjoyed it and were a little shocked by it with the whole situation, I guess. And Tyler and I had a brief conversation about it. He's like, "Holy fuck, dude!" I'm like, yeah, you should have listened to it live. It was live. It was weird. I guess
it's one of those.
weird.
Go ahead.
Yeah, weird isn't the best way to put it, but it was eye opening. How about that?
It was a saga, as it were. Yeah.
Let's just fucking hope that there's not more parts to the saga. You know, not like the Star Wars trilogies where there's 14 of them.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the whole deal because after after I said goodbye to my father, that's it. I mean, there is nothing left.
That's good. So if you don't know what we're talking about, episode 23 was JD talking about his family drama. Apparently words are hard this evening. Yeah, we called it a very special episode. And if you didn't get that reference, that is a direct reference to all of the bad episodes from sitcoms in the 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like
where someone's hooked on drugs, or someone finds out that they have a disability, or someone gets into a car accident, or
I think Edith Bunker in All in the Family. I think she got sexually assaulted in one of them, and it's one of the most disturbing episodes like ever. I never saw it, but I saw a video about it. So, fucked up.
Yep.
Fucked up, right?
Well, that's pretty much what you could describe the last episode of Lost Signals was.
Well,
just fucked up.
Fair enough.
Just fucked up.
Fair enough. But
How
like,
you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. Busy. Lots of hockey stuff going on this week. We got our first game tomorrow. I won't be able to attend because I am working, but that's life. I will be there for our first home games next weekend.
Right.
So I've been having lots of meetings and lots of paperwork and emails and Snapchats and just too much. My phone's been going off all day, like annoying the shit out of me, but it's part of it, right?
Oh no. I mean, you're a part of an organization, and they're relying on you. They're leaning on you to help keep things moving forward. So
sometimes I wonder about their judgment calls, but it seems to be going fine so far.
Yeah.
So
I've all but given up on volunteering too much. There would have been a time where I would have been busy with a haunted maze around this time of year.
Yep.
And it was unpaid. It was for the fun. It was a charity event, but my goodness, of all the things I've ever volunteered for, volunteering for a haunted maze was torture.
I would say, yeah. I mean, that seems like you'd be putting in a lot of hours for not a lot of payback. Not that a person does that sort of job for recognition, really, because you know what you're getting yourself into, but sometimes the work isn't worth it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've done enough volunteer stuff over the years too. Maybe not as much as other people, but it's not. I don't know.
It's cool to volunteer for something when you have a goal, an end goal, or if it's just fun and you can see something building or you can accomplish something. It's another when you volunteer for something and then the help disappears towards the end. And
that's fair.
A crew of like 30 turns into a crew of 10.
Yeah. I mean, technically what we're doing here is volunteer work too. You know, we're not getting paid. I mean,
we're providing a service, sure.
I guess. I mean, unless you're getting paid and I'm not, I'm missing something, but I'm definitely not getting paid for this.
No, but we will take sponsorship.
Absolutely.
With a quick caveat that we're not going to pump your stuff if you're not going to give us an opportunity to try it for ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good. You know what? I completely forgot about that until you just brought that up. It's a funny story.
Yeah,
I go on Instagram a lot, and I see all these brands and their ads. Of course, they're 100% ads. It's like, contact us, and maybe we'll get in touch with you, and maybe partner up, and so we can grow together. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
So The one, let's I wasn't even really looking at it. I just saw we're looking for entertainment spots to, partner with. I didn't even look at the product, and I emailed them like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what we do. This is what we're doing. This is what's going on. Oh, excuse me. And they got back to me. Like, yeah, it was like maybe a week later. And they're like, yeah, we'd like to partner with you. And, they kind of told me the spiel of what's going on and be like, what it was, it's like protein powder for gamers, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
None.
Like
Zero.
I even looked at the flavors for it. It was like cotton candy and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Like, who would want this? Like, what's your demographic? Like, what are you doing? And they're like, so I emailed them. I'm like, hey, could we get some samples of your product line, so we could try it? But just like, no, we actually don't do that. But you have to buy a bunch, and then we'll send you a code. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out. I'm out. I didn't even email back. It's like I am not that much of a shill.
No,
I'm not. Like I guess that's my own fault for looking into something that I wouldn't use.
Yeah.
Right. Like I should be looking at. Yeah.
That'd be closer to something that I would use. But even still, like I'm not going to promote something that I don't believe in.
Exactly.
Right. Because we're like, if it was just me, my show, then I'm sticking my neck out there. But if it's our show, then I'm sticking our neck out there, our reputation out there.
Yeah.
And, we talk about gamer protein, blah, 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 cotton candy. It's the best stuff ever, but we can't fucking stand it. It makes my stomach upset. Like,
yeah, you get itchy and hives from it. It's like, fuck no.
It's like, no. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We're all for a sponsorship, but like you got to give us an opportunity to believe in you before we can believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends on what the brand is, right?
Yeah.
Like beer companies, fine. For the most part. Depends on what they are. But yeah, like just rant, no. See, that's my own mistake for emailing these people. But
hey, it was a learning experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it's Halloween.
It is
not right this second. It's Thursday, the 28th. So a couple days.
Yes.
How does Halloween work there? So, I know it's a very weird question, but so back in the day in my hometown, Halloween always either took place on the day of Halloween, obviously. Or if it fell on a weekend, it was the last Friday before Halloween. And what happened was the grade 11 class took out the kindergartens to grade 6, and they went all over town. It was school sanctioned. They raised money for UNICEF and whatever. Every house in town got hit. All of the old people were happy because they all showed up at the same time. They didn't have a bunch, like obviously, you'd have stragglers after school and stuff, but it happened like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So all the kids got to go to every house on their assigned blocks. It was great. Now it's happening on the last Friday before Halloween this year, but I mean, it's just a free for all after school. So that's why I asked. I preferred the way that it was done when I was in school because all of the houses in town got hit. Not just like the busy streets like Main Street and whatever. But so how is it done there? Or is it just, I'm guessing, a free-for-all?
I've never even heard of that before, and I think that's brilliant.
It was honestly like that there was a big debate when it got changed, and I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole other thing. Yeah. But we had a former high school teacher of mine said that it had been like that when he started teaching here in the 1970s, and he had asked one of the other teachers and said like it was like that since like the 50s.
Holy smokes, that's cool.
Yeah. And then some new people moved in town and they didn't like it that way, so of course it had to be changed because it. But anyways.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. I'm picking up what you're putting down here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, no, I've never heard of that before ever. Generally, what happens is it's a free for all.
Yeah.
like there were times I was dating a young woman who had a daughter, and like we would hit the family houses, and then we hit the streets of the family houses, and then I would I'd get like a text message or something like that from people who are at home giving out candy for Halloween, and they're like, no one's coming to our neighborhood, no one's coming to our house. And like, I'm on the way.
Yeah.
You know, so because of that, like we would hit these cul-de-sacs and these like hidden far off houses, areas and whatever that like no one would ever hit.
You probably get the full size chocolate bars. The
Oh
big
yeah,
bags of chips. Yeah.
that was the goal. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like, I don't ever remember. I think that would be a really cool thing if it ever did happen. But like to have, you know, seniors in high school and whatnot, take the younger kids out and like walk them around. Like that would have been cool.
You know, like the whole thing about that is that every kid got to go to every house on those blocks. It got the kids out. They were all safe. They were supervised. I think depends on how big the class above them, like the kids taking them out. Like there's either 2, 3, or 4 kids with every class.
Right.
So they're all well chaperoned, you know, no kid left behind. And again, they are raising money for UNICEF like they did every year. It made more sense, you know? And the argument that some people had back in the day is like, oh, well, I want to take my kid out. Well, then you know what? Go take your kid out.
Yeah.
Well, everybody go with them. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Like just
adding more safety.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite frankly. Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, they got rid of it, and I know there was talk of actually going back to the other way, like the old way. And the school board won't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. Like something about liability and shit. And it all comes down to that bullshit, right? Because, you know, just got to cover their ass sometimes. But
yeah, no. But it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, that would have been awesome to experience as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so like I live in a small town. So like every block got hit.
Yeah.
You know, like, and like and it was all like an equal amount of houses that all these kids got. So
yeah.
And as a homeowner, you always knew, okay, between this time and this time, I'm going to get between 15 and 25 kids. So you buy appropriately, and you buy a little extra for like, because they're like the kids a little bit older. Yeah, may not have been able to go out and still wanted to go out after school. Cool, here, you know, here's some extra candy. So, but you bought appropriately. Like I know there's people in town. Like I don't buy anything anymore because kids don't come to my house. Mainly because the dogs are barking in the window and they kind of look like assholes. But like,
Dad, there's people here, Dad.
Yeah. Like my nephews, when they were that age, would come. Yeah. You know, with their friends, but that would be about it. So, but whatever. So, what was trick or treating like for you when you were a kid?
So I grew up in a large city. I grew up in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia, so that's primarily just Vancouver. And there was like suburbs and rural areas and stuff like that were clumped together and then spaced out. Yeah. So we all, my parents figured out that if we gathered all the friends together and all the friends' kids together, and then we hit houses and everyone's happy and everyone's supervised and everyone has a good time. And so generally it was the kids of the racers, because my father was into drag racing. Yeah. The kids of the racers would pile into the biggest vehicle or vehicles that we had, and then we just go from like, oh, we heard this neighborhood's good, and we have to go hit in this neighborhood, and we have to go by seeing grandma, and then we have to go over here to this neighborhood. Yeah. And many times it was just like, us kids are tired, and the parents are going like, no, the good candy's over in that house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was anything like my hometown, the parents would be drinking the whole time. You know, trick or drinking. That's the way it happens around here.
I can't recall whether that was happening or not, but it was probably because I was busy just like getting candy and trick or treating. So.
Yeah, fair enough. So what was your most memorable Halloween costume? Like, do you remember?
I was just thinking that. My mom had a brilliant idea. My brother wanted to be a cowboy, and she thought that was just kind of boring, so she went and got a store-bought thing. I wanted to be something different. I wanted to be something unique and whatnot. And she had this old Halloween clown costume.
Mm.
And she's like, "How about a clown from hell?"
So like Pennywise?
Well, think a little bit more childish. So
Okay.
a clown with like the red fork and the horns, and
Okay.
the makeup was a little bit darker, and
Yeah.
there was like burnt spots on my clown costume. Like they deliberately, like my father's like, "Oh, you want to look like you're from hell? Oh, give me this." And he hit it with a blowtorch and quickly blow it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about
So
right.
I was a clown from hell for a Halloween, and I remember that I got so many compliments that year, and my mom was so proud because I was getting compliments, hence she was getting compliments.
Yes. They're
And
more directed to
that-
her, obviously. Yes.
Yeah, and that year we had to take turns going through my brother's trick or treat bag and my trick or treat bag because our hall covered the kitchen table.
That's awesome.
And there was the standard dad tax and the mom
Yeah.
tax and whatnot.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
all the good stuff. Like,
yeah.
depending on what your parents liked. My dad
my
liked.
father's favorite chocolate bar was always an O. Henry,
Oh, fair enough.
and my mom always laid claim to Bridge Mixture.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Dad liked
No?
Dad liked Wagon Wheels. I can't remember what Mom liked, but I also liked Wagon Wheels too. So it's kind of like a fight. No, I like Wagon Wheels now. I didn't like them when I was a kid. So I'm like, I think
Me too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Wagon Wheels, like and not a big fan, but man, these days, like, yeah.
Can you
I
even
would
find
try
a
one.
wagon wheel like in the off season? I don't know if you can. Like I'm just thinking like at my local grocery store. It's like I don't think there's anything there for wagon wheels. Mind you, I guess I'm not looking for them.
That's true. That's true. It's never hit me to go grocery shopping and like could go for a wagon wheel.
It's it's October. Maybe you would want one now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Favorite costume?
So back in the 90s when I would and like late 80s, early 90s when I would have been trick or treating, my parents did what was called no, actually I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was like casualty simulation. That's what it was. So so what it was is they took this course. So full disclosure, both of my parents are EMTs for like 25 years.
Oh.
So they did, and I was involved with the training that they did. So they went and took this course, which they learned how to make realistic looking wounds on you, like so big like cuts, and it looked fucking disgusting. Like it looked real. Like
Yeah.
so the one year. That's what I went as like I put a pair of dad's coveralls on. They might even been mine coveralls, but like covered them in blood, but like had like big cuts on my forehead and like one on my face, and just like, and I think I had a knife with me or something, so I was just like a murder victim. But like that's my personality, so it was fucking perfect. Even in like grade 6 or 7, it was like, yeah, that was me, right? So that would be my favorite, I think.
Yeah.
So. And I can't really remember any of the other ones that I went as. Like nothing major, I don't think. Nothing groundbreaking, but
like the clown from hell was the one that stuck out the most for me.
yeah.
I know I was a cowboy a year prior because that's where my brother got his costume for the same year I was a clown from hell.
Yeah.
I was a football player one year. I was a Ninja Turtle with one of those cheap masks one year.
Like the plastic sleeve smock
Yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that reminds me of the scene from The Simpsons where Lisa's making fun of Milhouse for being radioactive man. She's like,
Yeah.
Radioactive Man wouldn't wear a picture of himself on his own shirt. And Milhouse is just dejected because he's Milhouse. I don't know why I brought that story up, but it's right up this alley.
I was a crooked politician one year. I had a blazer and a tie, and I looked disheveled. My
Did
my
you have
trick-or-treat bag.
a blonde wig and that with a really bad hairpiece?
No,
You're foreshadowing old Trumpy.
no, it wasn't that brilliant. My loot bag was actually a briefcase. I had a bunch of
Okay.
yeah.
Speaking of loot bags, okay, so you used a briefcase. What was the go-to for you though? Because
a pillowcase.
Pillowcase. You had to.
Yeah.
You had to use a pillowcase.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while you'd see kids with like the plastic pumpkin head. It's like, kid, you gotta learn. You ain't gonna get no candy in that. You're gonna be full in like 4 houses, and then you're gonna be crying because you're gonna miss out on the big candy bars.
Yep. It was a doubled up pillowcase for as long as I could remember, because I remember
Doubled up.
Oh yeah, because at one point in time I remember one of those pillowcases failed.
Oh.
And so it was
That's thinking in 4th dimensions there, right? There.
No, it was always a pillowcase. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was your favorite candy getting?
Rockets. Every time. Rockets.
Did your school go through that phase where everybody was snorting rockets?
No. What?
We're talking about the same rockets here, like the cellophane wrapped candy discs.
Yeah.
So I think I was in grade 5, and somebody in my class had the bright idea to take a packet of rockets. It was probably like just after Halloween.
Yeah.
Crush it like you're doing cocaine. I've never done cocaine, by the way. That's a whole other story. But they would crush it on their desk and then, stored it up. And
Why?
I don't know, because we're like, how old are you when you're grade 5? Like, what, 10?
Yeah.
Ish? Because you were 10. It's stupid.
very
Or maybe 12,
stupid.
whatever. Just fucking I don't know, man.
That's food coloring and sugar straight to the fucking brain.
Yeah. I remember it burning a lot. Yeah. Of course I did it. It's like everybody else is doing it. Let's do a bunch of rails of fucking rockets crushed up on your desk that hasn't been cleaned in months.
Rockets. No, I've never heard of that before, but my God, I'm glad I didn't. Rockets, score bars, and what would have been my third? Butterfingers.
Oh, good call.
Butterfinger candy bars. Yeah.
So, give me a Kit Kat, a score bar for sure.
Yeah.
And Smarties, I think. Not M&M's, Smarties.
Smarties, yeah.
It's got to be Smarties. Did you
Smarties
know?
are bigger, aren't they?
I think so. But did you know in the States, what we call rockets, they call Smarties? Look it up. Serious.
That's odd.
It's very odd.
So anyone listening in the United States thinking like, oh yeah, I love rockets, and then we're talking about something completely different.
Yeah.
Or Smarties. Or
Smarties.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the way it is, apparently. So
weird.
Yeah. You learn something new every day.
What candy did you see and you just like, oh no?
Peanuts.
Other than wagon wheels.
Peanuts.
Raisins.
No, like legit, like peanuts in a shell. That like some of the old people would just drop a handful of peanuts in. And every once in a while you'd eat one or two of them, but they always seem to be like rancid.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that was a thing, and that should never have been a thing.
Well, it's
my God.
Some of the elderly, that's just the way that they were brought up. I don't judge them, and it's just like maybe fixed income, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one always threw me off. Or black licorice. I can't do black licorice.
Oh, I love black licorice.
And you know what? Good for the people that do. I'm just not that guy. I can't be that guy.
Yeah.
Henry Bar is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kit Kat, Score, Smarties. That's probably up there.
Yeah.
So
when it comes to me and candy, is that just like no. It's raisins.
Yeah.
Peanuts definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Candied apples.
Never liked them.
Not me neither. And every once in a while, you'd feel that heavy thunk in the
Yeah.
bag, and you go,
Oh,
"Oh,
man.
thanks."
Yeah. 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 So growing up in Vancouver,
Yeah.
you obviously would have had good weather for every Halloween you were ever at. For the most part, you would probably get some rain here and there. So I remember growing up, two extremes. Sometimes it would be like plus 15 out, like it's going to be this year.
Yeah.
But then the next year, it's like minus 35 and there's like 4-foot snowbanks outside.
Oh.
Like that legit happens. Like
Yeah.
where it's you're walking through snowbanks.
Ugh.
But I hated it. I hated the winters like the fall when you had to go trudge through the snow, because like you try, like your mom would make your costume, and then, you know, it would have to get modified because you had to put your big winter coat over top of it, or your costume over top of your winter coat. You wear gloves and a toque, and yeah. Well, big deal, because I don't go trick or treating anymore.
Yeah. No, I do remember there was a couple of Halloweens where it was raining, and so there'd be the cellophane parka, or carrying around an umbrella as well as a bag, and then have to fold the umbrella underneath the arm, and then trick or treat, and then bring out the umbrella again because you just didn't want to get sopping wet. And I remember a couple of times where it's just, I don't care.
That's fair. Sometimes you just gotta quit giving a shit. Yeah,
I'm out here for the candy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to realize that, you know, your candy's going to get wet too, because I mean, it is only a pillowcase, maybe two, but I mean, it's not water safe.
No.
So
It's not even water resistant. No,
yeah,
it's water absorbent.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Halloween, I like all of like the media associated with Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, like the scary stuff. We've talked about this ad nauseum about my love of horror movies and this and that, and you know, Halloween specials are some of my favorite. So, I mean, this is my time of year. I don't decorate or anything because that's not my style. But
Right.
yeah, no, it's a fun time of year.
I can't do that. Like I enjoyed Halloween for the experience, the fun, to hang out with friends and family and go door to door and just have an adventure and get dressed up and whatever. But there, like for me, because I can't do scary shit, there was definitely, you know, instances where it's like, no, you go on ahead. I'll watch the street and make sure everything's fine here. I can't do that because I'll get nightmares. I'll have before I realize what a panic attack was, I'll just get scared shitless. Like
That's
I just
fair.
couldn't do it.
That's right. You know, actually, you just mentioned nightmares, and that's a good segue point into our next topic.
Mm.
So you kind of brought this one up, so I'm gonna let you feel this one to start, anyways.
Sure.
You were talking about reoccurring dreams and or nightmares.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I don't know exactly where you're going with that. I mean, I have an idea, but let's hear your thoughts on that.
Well, it is the spooky season, so I thought it'd be kind of, you know, timely to dip into it. Now I have have always had a very overactive imagination, and it's primary reason why I can't watch scary movies, because they will grab hold of that imagination and follow me to bed. So
Fair enough.
shit don't fly.
Yeah.
So there's been times where I've had like the same nightmare over and over and over again. In fact, there was I'm not sure if we covered this before, but I did have that one reoccurring nightmare where it would cause me to sleepwalk.
Really?
Yeah. I guess we haven't talked about this.
No. This is new.
No. Yeah. So for whatever reason, when I was much, much younger, I had this reoccurring nightmare that it started off, I was at a carnival,
Okay.
and I was on the scariest ride for me as a child, the Ferris wheel.
I was gonna say, like, the bumper cars or what? Like,
No, I rocked the bumper cars. I messed some kids up on a bumper car. No, Ferris wheel. Hated the Ferris wheel as a kid. Hate it. So I was on a Ferris wheel, but I was on a Ferris wheel with my brother, and
Yeah.
it was the typical situation where you're going up onto the top of the Ferris wheel, and then of course it's they do a couple of rotations, and then they systematically let people off and get new
Yeah,
people on, and
yeah.
blah 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 blah. So it's up at the top, and the thing started swaying back and forth. Now keep in mind this is a nightmare. Well, I'm in the seat with my brother, and it's starting to sway back and forth and back and forth, and then I look out toward the horizon, and then I look back, and my brother's gone,
Oh.
and I would be, I'd scurry to the ground like, and try to look for my brother, thinking that he fell or something like that, and I couldn't find him anywhere in this carnival. And then for whatever reason, I would just start making my way out to the parking lot, and then I found myself like army trudging through a ditch that was beside an airport, and I'm hollering and screaming my brother's name, and I couldn't find him. And it was around this time in the waking world, I am army trudging across my bedroom floor, hollering and screaming my brother's name.
Holy shit. That's
And
awesome.
Like, not only was this like a reoccurring nightmare, like this went on for years.
Wow.
There'd be months where nothing would happen.
Yeah.
And then there would be like a week where it would happen 3 times in a row.
Wow. That's messed up.
Yeah, and every single time I can remember like my dad or my mom just like very carefully just like trying to wake me up.
Yeah.
And eventually I'd wake up, and then it happened a couple of times where like, the first couple of times where I get freaked out. But then it happened so often, my reaction would be go, "Oh, again?"
I used to
And then I go to bed,
Yeah.
and yeah. But that was like the primary reoccurring dream, and I continued to have it until I remembered it from start to finish. And then I told someone about it,
Yeah.
and then I stopped having it.
Oh. Weird. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the realization of what happened kind of just, killed it. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
Dreams are a
Maybe.
fucked up thing.
Yeah,
I never had a nightmare when I used to sleepwalk, but I used to sleepwalk. Like my parents would find me like sleeping on the floor of the bathroom when I was a kid, not passed out drunk as an adult.
Oh, our young Daryl.
Yeah.
Can't hold his booze.
Yeah, 8 years old. Yeah, but no, it's not the same thing. But like I used to have nightmares when I was working on a drilling rig, when I'd be at home on my days off, and I would wake up in the middle of the night, or in my dream, I'd be thinking, "Holy fuck, I'm supposed to be at work right now," and wake up in the middle of the night and fucking freaking out. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, no, I'm at home, like 1,200 kilometers away from where work is. You're fine. But yeah, I have nightmares, not often, but often enough that I remember having them, but I never remember what they are.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I'll wake up and the next day, and like it's very vivid for that first, like 35 seconds when you're trying to wake up, and then it's just gone. Like I don't remember specific stuff, but I do remember like waking up. It's like, holy fuck, that was messed up, and then it's gone.
Yeah. It was something, and I was I'm hungry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, like I've woken up, with that feeling like when you're falling.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I've
but-
experienced that. Yeah.
but like no recollection of what was happening in the dream before that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had the one reoccurring nightmare, and chalk it up to brotherly love and brotherly concern.
Yeah.
I've had other nightmares where it was the typical thing of like falling, and just before you hit, you wake up.
I just remembered one thing. Just go.
What?
Yeah, no. Okay, so this actually goes back to our horror movie stuff.
Oh, okay.
I had a nightmare a couple years ago that it just popped in my head, and it was from Friday the 13th,
Oh.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the end of Friday the 13th, Part 3, there's a scene, and it's a very famous scene. You see Jason through a window from a long way away, and you can see like he's pretty grotesque and he's not very attractive looking, and just the look on his face is just like pure malice, and he wants to kill you. Obviously, he wants to kill you.
Right.
I was watching that movie one night, and I had a nightmare that I was in that scene.
Oh.
Yeah, like that. I was looking up at the cabin, and Jason's looking out at me. It's like he's gonna fucking murder me. And you know you're in a dream, so you can't run.
Yeah.
You can't fight back. And
Yeah.
I actually remember in the dream him actually killing me and like hitting me in the head with a sledgehammer. I now that we're talking about it, it's all fucking flooding back to me. But I remember that he hit me with a sledgehammer and like hit me in the side of the head when I'm on the ground. But I didn't even wake up from the dream.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, I'm just laying there. It's like, is this what it's like to be dead? It's like, and I think it kind of turned into like one of like the waking dream at that point. I'm like, because I knew I was sleeping because I felt myself die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then I woke up shortly after. I'm like, holy fuck, that's weird. But now talking about it brought that all back. Wow, yeah. Like, but I remember like Jason Voorhees smashing me in the head with a sledgehammer in a dream,
and it connected, and you're like, I should be awake now.
Yeah, or I should be dead. Right? Like, fuck, it was weird. Anyways.
Wow.
Yeah, messed up fucking dreams sometimes. But like,
Yeah.
see, that's what happens when you watch too many horror movies. When you start
Yeah.
living them in your own head. So, but I remember friends telling me like they had nightmares from watching like A Nightmare on Elm Street growing up. I never did. I never found Freddy that frightening.
He had
I mean, there's the comedy side of it.
Yeah, like from what I can recall, there was a little bit of satire. Like there was definitely a sense of humor there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's the scene in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 where he picks the girl up and smashes her head into a TV. He's like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." It's like as soon as they say a joke like that, it's like, "Oh yeah, you're going for the comedy route now." But it was funny, and it was, you know, at the time it was captivating. You know, like I don't remember watching those movies. Well, I remember watching them when I was young, but not in the 80s. I watched them like when I was a teenager.
Right.
So
still to this day, like thinking, like I can recall clips. I can recall trying to stomach watching a scary movie.
yeah.
Just can't fucking do it.
So what would be the scariest movie you've ever seen then?
From start to finish?
Yeah.
In a theater, Final Destination.
That's not scary. That was like PG-13 for fuck's sakes, wasn't it?
Didn't matter.
Wow. I think the scariest movie that I remember, maybe not scariest, but the most fucked up movie that I remember seeing was Candyman. From like not the new one. Apparently the new one is really not good. But the original Candyman, because it was so based on on real events supposedly that scared the shit out of me. But yeah, besides like Friday the 13th Part 3, like that one scene freaking me out. Other than that, yeah, none of those movies really shook me, I guess.
There was a horror movie that I sat through from start to finish. I have no idea why, but I sat through it from start to finish, and it was after I was a teenager. I want to say it's Hellraiser.
That would make sense.
I want to say it was Hellraiser because I remember Pinhead.
Yeah.
And I remember the cube, the puzzle.
Yeah.
And I remember someone trying to escape a hell dimension or what have you by literally wearing the skin of someone else.
Oh yeah. That might be Hellraiser 2. I would have to. It's been a long time since I watched the Hellraiser movies.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why I watched that from start to finish. Must have been for a girl.
Must have been, because like like the Hellraiser movies are great. They're really shocking at the time. Like even now, like you look at like you're talking like wearing other people's skin and stuff. I mean, in that sense, I mean, it's very demonic, and it's like I'm surprised that more people didn't protest that whole series of movies because of how fucked up it was.
Yeah.
But it's a funny story. Remember I was telling you about that 4.5 hour documentary that I was watching about horror movies?
Yes.
Yeah, I was rewatching it again today because I love it. Because it's all about horror movies. It's great. It's just there's not like a week.
It's just a typical Thursday for you.
Thursday afternoon, I'm watching, like a documentary about horror movies, like teenagers getting splattered. It's great.
Jesus.
I don't know.
That's funny.
But like, I remember watching like The Exorcist Part 3 when I was 9 years old.
Nope. Hell no.
But it was fine with me. Like just the way, like, I don't know. It's just my personality that I can deal with that sort of stuff. But on the other hand, if there's a movie and we're like, if there's a dog in the movie and the dog dies, I ain't fucking watching that movie. I'm not. I can't. If the dog dies, I'm fucking out. There's actually there's a whole website dedicated to that you can type in a movie name. It's actually called, I think it's called didthedogdie.com. It'll tell you. It's like, does the dog die in this movie? It's like, yes. It's like, okay, well, I'm out. That's it. I'm out. I'm not watching that shit. Fuck that.
I need a website. Will JD stomach this movie? Is there blood? Yes. Then no.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I mean, you said you watched the Jackass movies, and there's usually blood in that.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
I can deal with action. I can deal with suspense. I can deal with some thriller, but flat out horror movies. And we're not talking Saw. That's not horror. That's
gore. Yeah.
Gore. Yeah. I can't do horror movies.
That's fair.
I can do suspense. I went and watched Michael Douglas movie The Game in theater. Fucking loved it.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
That's if you call like Seven to me is more a suspense movie than a horror movie.
I watched that one. Yeah.
But speaking of movies, and I know we're circling back here, but like there's that Friday the 13th lawsuit that we were going to talk about in episode 22.
Yes.
So the big deal is that the guy that came up with the concept of Friday the 13th, the guy's name is Victor Miller. What he did, he had the concept. So technically, he owns the character of Pamela Voorhees, which is Jason's mother, and the child version of Jason. So with those two characters gone, technically they can't do anything. So
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So as of right now, with this guy owning it, like it's supposed to be in like limbo again. So I think we had talked about this before at one point. Like there's that Friday the 13th game that I had played the shit out of back in the day.
I was just booting up my Steam here. I was like, yeah, I have this game too.
Yeah. They can't update that because of this lawsuit. Like the game's been dead for a year and a half, maybe more. But it's not gonna get whatever.
Go ahead.
It is what it is. No, I my train of thought is gone. But there's that new Evil Dead game that's coming out in February, which will take the place of the Friday the 13th game. I mean, for the game's sake, I hope that they can figure out this lawsuit and they can move forward and maybe be able to update the game, because there's a bunch of stuff that they wanted to do. They wanted to add Jason X into the game, and they want to add like a space map and shit. So I don't know.
You know what's going to fix this, right?
Money.
It's always money.
Yeah.
Always money.
Speaking of money.
Yeah.
Facebook changed their fucking name today
to
Meta.
Something
Meta.
Not Facebook the company, not Facebook the app.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the big point about all of this. Everybody's all up in arms. It's like, oh, it's not going to be Facebook anymore. It's like, you know what? Maybe if they got rid of Facebook, there'd be a lot less hatred in this fucking world.
Facebook hasn't been Facebook in too long, quite frankly.
Do you remember Facebook when it first launched?
Yes, I do.
Like I got Facebook in like 2007. or something like that. And
When did
it's very different.
I got Facebook? I was living in Prince George by this point in time, so it was after 2004, but it was before I was working for my radio station up here. So I want to say 2005, 2006.
Probably 6, because I don't think it was available to like everybody until like 2006.
Yeah.
And I didn't jump on it until 2007.
Yeah.
But
So I remember Facebook when it was Facebook. It was a online photo album where you can tag people in a photo,
yeah,
and then those people can have a profile, and then you can like that's what Facebook was.
yeah.
And then
now it's
yeah.
just a big fucking ad. Everything's an ad. You know, like
I remember when you could. I met someone who is still a very close friend of mine. She actually lives in your neck of the woods.
we talked about this, didn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was an app that did not. Well, it existed and existed for a while, but it was an app where you traded nudes, but you had to have permission. It was like basically like Tinder before Tinder. That was Facebook. Like it was just no holds barred back then. You know,
it was an urban wasteland of the internet at the time. You know, like you could do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And you could do pretty much anything because your parents weren't on there. Your grandparents weren't on there. You know, like everybody in your extended family isn't on there.
Yeah.
Now
you didn't
that's
have
what
that
it is.
horrified grip in your chest, like grandma's got a cell phone.
Yeah, fuck, exactly. Okay, so talking about Facebook, let's dive into this just for a little bit here. What's the dumbest thing you put on Facebook besides your nude sharing with other people?
Well, that takes the cake, quite frankly. But the dumbest thing, I mean, without getting too analytical, the dumbest thing I've ever done on Facebook was completed my profile, because I realized that Facebook, I realized in a big hurry that Facebook quickly became the cheaper version of Classmates.com.
Yeah.
And I was like, I went to this high school and I graduated this year, and I went to this elementary school and I graduated this year, and I went to this blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then within like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, suddenly I'm getting all these friend requests from people that I did not give a fuck about back then, and they certainly did not give a fuck about me back then. But like, hey, we're on Facebook together. I went, and?
Yeah.
But being in media, I knew that you have to always be careful of what you put out there.
Yeah.
On a social platform, because that sort of thing becomes what you represent and what people link you to.
Yeah.
So I'd always been very careful not to do anything stupid, but I'm not without my mistakes. There was a time where I had my YouTube and my Facebook connected, and I was unaware of this. I liked a video of this rather attractive young woman in shorty shorts doing a dance.
Yeah.
Again, way before TikTok, way before Musical.ly.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it on YouTube. And then my Facebook went, oh, you liked it on YouTube? We're connected.
You're
We'll
gonna
show people that you liked it on YouTube.
That's great.
I disconnected that tether real quick.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I used to get drunk and put up like drunk statuses all the time. You know, like incoherent thoughts at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember like at one point you could get yourself a drunk block for Facebook. The problem is that I could always beat the drunk lock because I was smarter than the drunk lock, even when I was pissed. It was like you had to do a bunch of math. It's like, well, I got a calculator right here, or you had to follow it. If you're on back then it was only on your computer. Really, you had to follow a maze with your mouse. I'm like, bitch, fuck, I've been using a mouse since I was like fucking 6 years old. It's like I know how to make through a maze. Like, yeah. But I never really put up any like stupid pictures, like of myself doing stupid things. I don't think. I mean, I check my memories all the time,
Yeah.
but like there's usually nothing bad that shows up.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Do you
there's
do a
I know there's people out there that were probably saying different. It's like, no, you fucking dumbass. You put up way stupider things than that. So if you are one of those people, you can comment here.
Yeah.
Or
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
Paging Tyler.
Yeah. Or you can email us at info@lostsignals.ca. Or you know what? Just comment on this post when it's up on Facebook. It's like, no, you dumb shit. If you, and you know what, even better, if you got a screenshot of it, within reason.
Within reason.
Yeah. Post it on this and let's see what's out there. Let's see like the dumb shit that I've done.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm opening a can of worms here. Jesus Christ. Because there's probably dumb shit out there that I've done that isn't going to be good for anybody.
Doing it for the content.
Fuck.
Like, you remember when your status updates started off as your name is?
Yep. Yeah, that was like the first 3 years. And you always had to figure out like how to make it sound, grammatically correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got stupid.
Yeah.
But and then they got rid of it, and
a lot of people were like, "Where's my is?"
Fucking, it's like, no, Facebook, I don't need you to start my sentences for me. Like, for fuck's sake, like, I'm a grown adult. Fuck, like, let me just put down what I want.
Yeah,
but
them changing to what is it, Meta or whatever?
Yeah,
it's just business. I mean, Google changed their business name to the Alphabet or something like that.
I think it's just Alphabet, not the
Alphabet.
Yeah,
sure.
But it's just a conglomerate. I think that's just so they can, push their ideas, like in a different way.
Yeah.
I know like old Zuckerberg wants to like have it like, actually, the way that I read it this afternoon, it sounded like Ready Player One.
A lot of references are being thrown that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we've talked about this a couple times on here about Ready Player One. And I mean, the idea of it, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I say I don't know, but like as soon as something was put in front of me, like where it's like a VR world where you can get into it like that, I'd probably be in for it.
Yeah.
But
don't they already own the Oculus Rift?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently now you actually have to have a Facebook account to use it. So
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. You know what? The thing is, like, Facebook is getting sued in a bunch of countries.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're changing their name.
A bit of a rebranding. They can corporately step away.
And then push back in a different direction. Yeah.
Yeah. So
now we're going to be censored on Facebook for what we just said. 100%.
So when it comes to social media, what a lot of people didn't realize until it's too late, or some people don't realize, is that it is an open forum. It is giving a spotlight, a soapbox, a megaphone to people who don't deserve one.
No.
Like, everyone is free to express their own opinion.
Yeah.
But flights of fancy that can be taken as fact is why we're essentially living in the world we are today.
Yeah.
I use social media as a part of my job. I use social media as a way to connect, to promote, and it is the primary reason why you'll never see anything political, controversial, or anything like that when it comes to myself, my personal profile on whatever platform I have, or the Media Jack, period. Because that is not what I want to put out there. That's not what I want to represent. I want to entertain. I want to inform in an entertaining way.
I can't say the same thing.
I mean, it's just my stance on it, though.
Yeah. Like I put some thoughts up about the last election, and I don't regret what I said, and I stand by my beliefs but I mean, going back to that whole election talk, it's like it was like the US election in 2016. there wasn't a good candidate to vote for.
Nope. I agree.
The conservative leader was not anybody I wanted to lead the country, and Justin Trudeau was still a piece of shit.
Yep.
He is. He's a straight up piece of shit, and he's a fuck up. But
Yep.
anyway, let's just get away with it.
No.
Right.
But before we do that,
okay.
and I'm not even sure if I had a chance to do that or to bring this up. I will go on record by saying that I love the color purple, but I could not be happier to see a big old purple 0 when it came to this last election, because that poor excuse for a party can go fuck themselves.
The PPC. Yeah, they're
Yes.
yeah. I'm not going to comment on this right now. We'll leave it at that. But I do agree with you that I'm glad that they got nothing. But the amount of people that actually voted for some of the candidates here was a little scary. But they didn't win, so it doesn't matter.
Nope, doesn't matter.
Yeah. So what you got? What's on the old Spotify playlist this week?
So I had to make sure that I actually had this in my playlist, my personal playlist, because I hadn't heard it in a while. And Spotify sometimes does this thing where it's like, hey, remember this? Like, yeah, you haven't fucking played it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A song that came out a little while ago, and I instantly went out and special ordered the CD because it wasn't in the local store. It's
CD.
Boba Flex. Yes, a CD. Just a CD.
Yeah.
It's Boba Flex, I'm Glad You're Dead.
I'm not going to comment on that either. That's for another episode.
It's a great song, and for the record, I found that song at least 8 years ago. So
okay.
it's not in reference to anyone.
Okay, fair enough.
Boba Flex, I'm Glad You're Dead.
I'm gonna look that up. It doesn't sound familiar, but it's probably something that I'll enjoy. So my first one is a song by a band that apparently is considered an emo band, but I never thought that they were because they played them on Octane like all the time in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And you know this band, Coheed and Cambria, like Welcome Home. Okay, so they got a new track out called Shoulders, and it is a fucking banger. The dude's got this super high pitched singing. It's maybe not high pitched, but it's like he's just like a really high range of singing. And I don't know, it just the thought and the ideas of the song are just fucking, it's like right in my wheelhouse for the way that I'm thinking right now. So it's Shoulders by Coheed and Cambria, and these will all be added to the Found Signals playlist on Spotify. We'll have that linked down at the below. Down below. Jesus. Fuck. Wow. So what's your second one?
I wanted to see if it was on Spotify at all. I'm just doing a quick look to see if it is. Otherwise, I am going to go with my second choice, and it doesn't look like it's here. So it'll be something that you and I can talk about later. But with that being said, my second choice is Long Road to Ruin by the Foo Fighters.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
That's a good track.
Yeah. Like the Foo Fighters, listening to the Foo Fighters, old music, new music, current music, whatever, and reading Dave Grohl's book, Storyteller, it inspires me to pick up the guitar more often, and play more frequently. And like it's just like there's so many songs that are rockers, but they're not. They're simple, but they're not.
Yeah.
You know. So Long Road to Ruin by the Foo Fighters off of Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace.
I really like the Foo Fighters. I don't like them as much as some of my other friends, like the drummer from my band. Like nuts. Like they went and saw the Foo Fighters, I think like 3 or 4 times one year, like all over like North America. They flew. It's like, and that's awesome that they go and do that. Funny thing is, he doesn't like Nirvana, but is a Foo Fighters fan. And I know they're two very different bands, but anyways, my second song and final song of the week here is one that popped up I think it popped up on that Spotify too, that the time capsule thing. and it's Good Times by Finger Eleven. I think that came out in like 03 or 04. It was the first album or the first track off of the album with one thing on it. It was the first single. As soon as you hear the opening riff, you'll remember the song, 100%. The video, like they were in a cave and there was like all like, yeah, it's a great track, great Canadian band too. And I don't think I've ever got to see them yet, but is what it is.
Is what it is.
So yeah, Good Times, Finger 11. Yeah, those will all be up on the Found Singles playlist up there on the old Spotify. Be linked.
Yeah. So, in review, if you would like to get in on the conversation, either comment down below wherever you may be finding this or listening to this on Facebook or on YouTube.
Oh, fun story.
Yes.
I'm going to cut you off there. We're actually signed up to be using Facebook as a delivery platform now too.
Oh, cool.
So
okay.
It's in beta right now, and it's not 100% available in Canada if that's where you are. But soon you'll be able to listen to the audio portion of the podcast on Facebook. It's a new feature coming up. I got an email from Facebook a couple weeks ago, I should say, asking if we want to opt into this because we're listed as a podcast. So yeah, we're set up to do that now in the States only right now. So,
okay.
Yes, that's the thing. So, if you're listening in the States and you want to listen to it on Facebook, cool. You're going to be able to do it there. But otherwise, it's still going to be offered in the same platforms as normal. And I'm not going to forget to upload, multiple weeks of podcasts to YouTube like I had to do this week and upload 5 all at once. And they're all out of order.
Tiny bit kick in the pants, yeah.
And they're all out of order on YouTube, and I can't change it. I uploaded them backwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Like in time frame. So like the oldest or the newest one was the oldest one uploaded.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oops.
Shit happened.
But if you've ever had a recurring dream or nightmare that you would like to share, feel free to email us. Or if there's a Halloween costume that you can recall from your childhood or even adulthood, or you want to talk about favorite candy, least favorite candy, Halloween memories, remembering when Facebook was fucking Facebook.
Yeah. Or you want to tell us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Feel free.
We just love the attention.
Anyway, this has been episode... Email. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Email info@lostsignals.ca. And that's it. That's all we got. My name is Daryl.
I'm JD.
This has been episode 24 of Lost Signals, and we will see you guys out there.
Take care.